My dad fired me to give my job to his mistress's son, not realizing I personally owned the company Trademark. The termination letter didn't even have a letterhead. It was just a plain piece of printer paper with 2 sentences scrawled in my father's illegible handwriting. Your services are no longer required. Please vacate the premises immediately. I looked up from the paper to see my dad, Robert, sitting behind the oak desk I helped him assemble 10 years ago. Standing next to him was Tyler, his mistress's 22-year-old son. Tyler was wearing a Supreme hoodie, vaping a mango ice cloud into the office air, and looking at me like I was a boomer who had gotten lost on the way to the bingo hall. It's a strategic pivot, David, Dad said, refusing to meet my eyes. Tyler has fresh ideas. He understands the youth market. We need to modernize the brand. You're too traditional. You're holding us back. Modernize? I asked, waving the smoke away. Dad, we sell industrial HVAC systems. Our demographic isn't youth. It's middle-aged facility managers named Bill. Tyler thinks a capacitor is a coffee drink. I'm a disruptor, bro. Tyler chipped in, leaning on the file cabinet. We're gonna pivot to lifestyle branding. HVAC is a vibe. We need merch. Merch, I repeated, deadpan. You're firing your director of operations so you can sell hoodies. It's done, Dad snapped, slamming his hand on the desk. Tyler is taking over your office. Hand over your keys. And don't try to steal any client lists. We own everything you touched. You own everything. I asked, a slow, cold smile forming. Are you sure about that, Robert? Because I seem to recall you being very cheap about the legal filings 5 years ago. Don't start with the legal mumbo jumbo, Dad scoffed. Get out. Security is waiting. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I handed over my keys to the kingdom I built. I walked out past the Vance HVAC sign in the lobby, a logo I designed, a name I registered, and drove home. Dad thought he owned the company. And technically, he owned the LLC. But he forgot one tiny, catastrophic detail from 2018. When we rebranded, Dad refused to pay the $400 trademark filing fee. He called it a government scam. So, I paid it with my personal credit card. And because I paid for it, I listed myself as the sole owner of the intellectual property. The name, Vance HVAC, the logo, the slogan, the domain name, it all belonged to me, licensed to the company for $1 a year on a renewable contract. A contract that just expired. I sat on my couch, opened a beer, and drafted an email. To Robert Vance, CEO. From David Vance, IP owner. Subject, cease and desist, trademark infringement. Per my termination, the licensing agreement for the use of the Vance HVAC trademark is hereby revoked. You have 24 hours to remove my intellectual property from all signage, vehicles, uniforms, and digital assets. Failure to comply will result in a lawsuit for damages of $10,000 per day. I hit send. The chaos started at 8 a.m. the next morning. My phone rang. It was Dad. I let it go to voicemail. 8:05 a.m. Dad again. 8:10 a.m. Tyler. I picked up for Tyler. Yo, bro. Tyler shouted, sounding panicked. The website is down. It just shows a picture of a clown. And Instagram banned our account for copyright violation. What did you do? I disrupted the brand, Tyler, I said, sipping my coffee. It's a vibe. Dad is freaking out. Tyler yelled. He's screaming at the lawyers. That's when the real bombshell dropped. Tell Dad to check the side of the vans, I said. I just called the sheriff to serve an injunction. Any vehicle bearing my logo is currently considered counterfeit merchandise. They're being impounded as evidence. You can't do that. Tyler shrieked. We have techs on calls. Not anymore, I said. They're driving stolen IP. Better tell them to pull over and scrape the decals off with a razor blade. It's gonna be a long day. Dad finally called from a burner phone because I blocked his main line. David, he roared. You are destroying the family legacy. My legacy, I corrected. You fired me. You said you owned everything. Turns out, you own a warehouse full of unbranded metal and a son who vapes. If you want the name back, my consulting fee is $1 million. Cash. I don't have $1 million. Dad cried. Then I guess you better pivot, I said. Maybe Tyler can draw you a new logo with a crayon. They couldn't rebrand fast enough. Clients panicked when the website went dark. The fleet got grounded. Dad had to file for bankruptcy 3 months later. I sold the domain name to his biggest competitor for a fat check. Tyler is currently working at a vape shop, which honestly, is where he belongs. Am I the monster for bankrupting my father, or did he trademark his own failure when he fired the guy who owned the name on the door?